We got a Monday night game between the Saints and the Packers, and we're going to break down this game from a fantasy football perspective to see how the points could be scored in this game so you can make your start, sit decisions. However, you already got your lineups made. We already know this. There's only one game left for the week. Let us know what you need from your players in the comments below. We'll drop the blue rally cap emoji on you to give you that good luck going into Christmas to get you through to the next round or the championship round of the playoffs. You also need to click that subscribe button right now. We're going deep on the waiver wire for next week. We're looking at the matchups throughout the week. We got matchups on Christmas. We got matchups on Thursday, I think Saturday, I think Sunday, all week long. So we got to deep dive these games to help you set your lineups. Click that button. Stop missing out. But we're looking at the Packers and the Saints right now. And we got a spread of 14. Vegas is saying this game is more than likely not going to be competitive. That's what that spread means. They're saying, hey, it's double digits here. We should expect the Packers to roll over the Saints. We got a 43 over-under. Scoring should be moderate here. So there should be fantasy points scored in this matchup one way or another. Pushing the 40 range at least. That being said, that spread of 14 is very concerning. We got a little bit of weather to look at here. It's going to be colder. There's some precipitation going on. We'll see more as we get closer to the game, as we watch the news going into this matchup. The Saints are banged up going into this game. At quarterback, running back, wide receiver, it's going to be really hard for him to push the pace downfield, especially when you're looking at Spencer Rattler at quarterback. He's going to be the X factor in this game. He's a roller coaster quarterback that we saw at Oklahoma and South Carolina. Back at college, he's a rookie. We saw a lot of the downs during his NFL career so far. We saw some of the ups in preseason. In some series and some moments, he's flashed a little bit. Can we put some series together? Can we look good in garbage time? Can we put something together to fuel some fantasy production? That's all we're looking at for Spencer Rattler. That's all we're hoping for. Love is in a good matchup here. At least get you the baseline. To at least get you the good QB2 production. To at least do that. Because points have to be scored somehow to get up on this team. It could be all from the defense, but points are going to be scored, and he's going to throw the rock. He's going to be okay, at least. Could be magnificent, too, because this is a good matchup for that. However, it could be throttled back as well. He should at least get you good baseline production in this matchup, but our Christmas Cinderella here is Kendre Miller. Can he get the opportunity to splash? Because it's not just him. Can the offensive line open up that hole, get that crease for him to see green? Because he's a very explosive running back. If that happens, he might get you a little something. If they're behind, he's used enough in the passing game where he'll run some routes and might see some targets. That could rack up some fantasy production. The downside here is the game script might be out of hand to where they're not pounding the rock with the running back. And on top of that, Jamal Williams might siphon some work in the red zone. If we get to the red zone, that's something to look at. There is some down. There is some risk here. There's a lot of risk with Kendre Miller. He's an unknown. We're unknown at the quarterback. We're unknown at wide receiver. There's a lot of unknown things for the Saints. We got weather. We're on the road. This is a nasty matchup. Vegas is saying you're going to be playing from behind. There's a lot of unknown here. Kendre Miller, though, could be our Cinderella if we can see some green. Either up the gut with a good hole a couple times, or on the outside, or getting some targets. The Packers will break the running backs, and they usually bend a little bit to running backs every game. We see that. They're a little bit above league average when it comes to allowing fantasy points to running backs. However, this matchup, when you're looking at everything involved here due to the injuries, not looking so good, especially at the wide receiver position. MVS might be out. By the time you watch this video, you may know one way or another. But MVS is questionable going in this game. You're also looking at Cedric Wilson, Kevin Austin. I don't think many people are talking about starting them going into the playoffs this deep. I have not heard anybody ask about Cedric Wilson, Kevin Austin, any of the other pass catchers. Maybe a little MVS here and there, not much. But I think we know about this game going in. That is very risky for the pass catchers. Spencer Rattler and company. The Packers will bend to wide receivers. They'll break at times as well. They'll allow some big matchups here. If Spencer Rattler can exceed expectations and look like those prime moments in college, maybe. That's a hard ask right now with what he has around him. The supporting cast isn't really there. But good luck for you if you are Juwan Johnson might get some workload here. If we can push it to the red zone. Maybe we get 15 points. Maybe we get 20. Maybe we get somewhere around there. We got to get a touchdown somehow. Maybe Kendre. Maybe Jamal Williams. Maybe Juwan Johnson. He'll get some targets, some workload, and some opportunities. Still very risky. But if you're streaming that hard at tight end, this is a matchup where you look at the wide receivers. There's not much competition. And he might get some deeper targets downfield. He's got an 8 out of 8, which is rather low for a pass catcher in general. But okay, very good, above average when graded against tight ends. Juwan Johnson's very risky. He's been okay in 2 of his last 4 games. The Packers will allow fantasy points to tight ends. And this could be opened up enough in the back end of the game where things could fly a little bit. You're looking at the Packers here. You're looking at the run game. And things are very advantageous, especially when you look at the potential game script. However, if things get out of hand too early, they may throttle things back, and you may see more Manny Wilson, Chris Brooks, and company run the rock in the back end of the game. And hopefully Josh Jacobs got your fantasy points by then. That is the risk there. But Josh Jacobs, I do not see anybody sitting him in this matchup. They've only shut down like 3 backfields on the season, and they've been blew up by multiple different running backs. Sean Tucker, Bijan Robinson. We're looking at other running backs like Saquon Barkley, all hanging big numbers on them. Last 3 weeks, they've allowed 11.7, 19.3, and 18.3 to running backs. They're going to allow something to Josh Jacobs. More than likely, he's going to get the workload unless things get really, really, really out of hand here. I think that's a little bit too much to the extreme. I think it'll be moderate due to the beginning of the first half, middle of the first half. And then things could explode. I think Josh Jacobs will get you a decent nut in this game at least. At least get you the workload to get you there in the beginning. Hopefully we can cross the goal line. But this matchup's very advantageous. When you're looking at the Packers wide receivers, same risk here. Might get throttled back. But on top of that, it's still advantageous. This defense allows fantasy points to wide receivers. Ranking these wide receivers, if you need be, Reed, Doubs, Watson, Wicks, MVS behind Watson, MVS above Wicks maybe if he's in there. Very risky with the quarterback position, but if you're that far down, you're hurting pretty bad. You're hurting pretty bad, and good luck to you. It's just a gamble. We should get one of these Packers wide receivers to hit, and they also got the carousel effect because Love doesn't care, and we got multiple good wide receivers here. Christian Watson's your upside play due to the deep threat City he's got. In the air yards, Romeo Doubs runs a lot of routes. Reed is the guy that can blow off on any given game. He gets the targets, the opportunities. He's your main alpha. But again, it could go to any of these wide receivers. This team breaks the wide receivers. And Tucker Kraft is up and down, but his ups are very high. I believe you've already made your decision with Tucker Kraft. He'd be the tight end I'd start out of this game. I think he got some opportunities here. And with it being a cold weather game, you might get some narrative street action in the red zone to him as well. You might get that touchdown look. Maybe we can push it to 8 on the season after this game. You got some opportunities. Again, it's tight ends. They're up and down. 5.1 average depth of target. You get those short targets. It's very risky. But the narrative going into this game, when we're looking at this matchup, can Spencer Rattler exceed expectation? Is these injuries for the Saints going to hamper him that bad? Can Kendre Miller be our Cinderella? A lot of people are banking on Kendre Miller. Will his touches get zapped around the red zone with like Jamal Williams or something? Can we get Green in front of him because he's very explosive? Can we get some targets out of the backfield? If that happens, he might surprise you a little bit. Kendre Miller has some upside in this matchup. He's an upside play, but a lot of risk going in this game. But again, if he cashes, he could cash big. Look for the Packers to be relatively safe. Might be throttled back a bit. Look for the Saints players to be rather risky. I think that's common sense. Let me know what you need in the comments below. We'll drop them rally cats. Merry Christmas to all you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next video.